5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
You blitz all night. And if they cross the line of scrimmage, I'm gonna take every last one of you out. Hey, the blitz is coming, boys.
What's going on? Welcome back to another episode of The Blitz. Your boy William Spencer is here in the seat to provide you with the latest and greatest in news, tips, tricks, and advice to prepare you for another week of fantasy football in just 5 minutes or less. Now, another set of fantasy stocks have taken a jump coming out of week 3. So in this episode, I'm going to give you a few players that you should consider selling high on in order to bolster your fantasy rosters heading into week 4. But before we jump into the episode, make sure that you're following the Fantasy's Finest YouTube channel for the latest episodes of The Blitz. You can also find The Blitz in audio format on your favorite podcast platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. And as always, make sure to like, share, and comment on the podcast episode as it helps us to see what you guys like, and it also helps us grow the channel via the algorithms. So now with all that stuff out of the way, let's get into some of the players that you should consider selling high on as we head into week 4 to help with that push to win our fantasy championships. So my first guy that I'm looking to sell high on is Panthers wide receiver Tedoroa McMillan. Now, don't get me wrong, the kid is immensely talented, but that never was really my concern. My issue was his landing spot with the Carolina Panthers. They aren't a high scoring offense, which doesn't lend to many touchdown scoring opportunities. Now, the Panthers ranked 20th in points scored on offense with just 20.7 points per game. The Panthers have just 4 passing touchdowns on the season so far and are the 10th fewest in passing yards heading into week 4. Currently the wide receiver 30, averaging 12 fantasy points per game. McMillan's target share is the selling point here. He does rank 12th among wide receivers with 27, but he's worth packaging with another player to upgrade that wide receiver position on your roster. Another player to consider selling high on right now is Bears quarterback Caleb Williams. Williams has shown some flashes, and he was a top 10 fantasy quarterback over the first 2 weeks of the season, averaging 21.1 fantasy points per game. Now, Williams erupted in week 3 against the Cowboys and finished as the QB1. Williams threw for 4 touchdowns and 298 yards for a total of 29.1 fantasy points, edging out Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts for the top spot. With all the injuries to the quarterback position, this could be a perfect chance to move a top-ranked quarterback to help fill some holes on your team, especially if you already have a starting quarterback. One more player fantasy managers should consider selling high on this week is Vikings running back Jordan Mason. With Aaron Jones on the injured reserve, the backfield belongs to Mason. Even with backup quarterback Carson Wentz starting, that didn't seem to slow Mason down. Mason ran for 116 yards, averaging 7.3 yards per attempt against the Cincinnati Bengals in week 3. He also finished with 23.6 fantasy points for the week, putting him at the RB7 among fantasy running backs. Now, while Mason has the floor, trading him with his value at an all-time high could help you get a more stable option from a team struggling at running back. With James Conner, for example, gone for the season, and other running backs dealing with committees like Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, this is the perfect opportunity to pounce. But that will wrap it up for this episode, and let us know in the comment sections, whether it's on YouTube or Spotify, as well as on Twitter, what players you're selling high on to improve your fantasy rosters heading into week 4. And as always, make sure that you're subscribed to the Fantasy's Finest YouTube channel or on Spotify and Apple Podcasts so you don't miss another episode. Until the next one, see you guys later.
Yo, come back now, you hear?